Prime Minister's unprovoked and inaccurate partisan attack against Conservatives on NAFTA today confirms again that his election strategy is to strut around pretending to stand up to Donald Trump. Ironic, though, because his increases in taxes and his heavy regulation have led Canadian dollars to head right down south to Donald Trump's America, where Canadian investment is up 2/3 and U.S. investment in Canada is down by half. So will the Prime Minister stop all the drama on NAFTA and stop sending our money and jobs south of the border?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, if the member opposite wants to clarify things, he can immediately say that he disagrees with Stephen Harper's analysis that it would be better to sign a bad deal than to have no deal, because that's what Stephen Harper is on record as having recommended to Canadian parliamentarians and to Canadian negotiators. If he disagrees with Stephen Harper on that position or on any other position, please let him say so and set the record straight.
Member for Carleton.
What I disagree with is this Prime Minister's agenda, which is sending money, business, and cheap oil into the arms of Donald Trump. His higher taxes have sent money south. He blocked a pipeline to the Atlantic and another to the Pacific, which means we have to pump cheap oil into the United States. And he gave $4 billion to a Texas oil company, which is building pipelines with Canadian tax dollars in Donald Trump's America. So, Mr. Speaker, again, will the Prime Minister stop the drama and stop sending our jobs, oil, and money down south?
Honourable Prime Minister.
Obviously, Mr. Speaker, the member opposite agrees with Stephen Harper that it is better to sign a bad deal than to have no deal. Well, we disagree and Canadians disagree. On the issue of getting our resources to new markets, we understand how important it is. And their failure for 10 years to get a pipeline built that will get our resources in a significant way to new markets is on them. We know that the way to get these things built properly is to work with Indigenous peoples and to make sure you're protecting the environment. That's what Canadians asked us to do. That's what we will be doing.
Honourable member for Carleton. Order.
Mr. Speaker, this Prime Minister personally intervened to veto a pipeline to the Pacific. Then he regulated to death another pipeline to the Atlantic. That means we have to send billions of dollars in discounted oil to Donald Trump's America. He then raised taxes on businesses, which has led Canadian investment in the U.S. to go up 2/3, while American investment in Canada is down by half. He then gave $4 billion to a Texas oil company to build pipelines down south. With enemies like that, Donald Trump doesn't need friends, Mr. Speaker.
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, there is just too much wrong with the previous member's statement to go through it, but I will address the question of Energy East. Mr. Speaker, a private company made a determination that they no longer wanted to move forward with a project where oil was at half the price of what it had been when they initially proposed that project. It actually never reached a point where we could have weighed in on it one way or another, because they withdrew the project because they also had another pipeline going south that they had trouble filling the space on. Mr. Speaker, this was a market decision by a private company, but the member opposite doesn't really know anything about that, does he?